Just ring. pocket! What you doing in my pocket, nigga?
All right. What's good, everybody? What's good? Hold on, let me do some things. All right, guys. Welcome to another session, another stream here on the Chaos Rain Show. I'm Chaos Rain here. Before I go into today's subject, today's gonna be a nice little, that came on my mind, a little rant, and some that I was thinking about. And I didn't really want to do something like this, but I thought long and hard. I say, man, screw it. Let me do it out anyway and knock it out the way, as you know. This particular stream. Let me see what's going on here. But before I go into the title and give my, my little rant, I just discovered something lately on notifications. And I found some interesting information. It looks like they came out since the removal, and now I guess now that what they call removing babies or they call abortion is now illegal in certain states in America. It seems to me they brought out something new. And it looks like this is something serious from what I'm looking at. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to share my screen. And it looks like it is some of significance, which I did not know existed. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to look at this. All right. I'm going through. All right. So this is what I'm doing. I'm going to share this so y'all get more context of this. I mean, this is not really based on the subject at hand, but I decided to share this one and knock this one out the way now. All right. Let's look right now. Share screen. Now, I remember if y'all notice about the case with the abortion, right? It seemed to me they coming out with a pill. With dueling rulings, abortion pill case appear heading to the Supreme Court. One federal judge said the FDA is proving of a drug, what it called mifepristone, was invalid. I think how you pronounce it, mifepristone. While another federal judge ordered the agencies to keep the pill available. The legal fallout is just beginning. All right. This was like yesterday. Or was it yesterday? No, this is today. Washington and dramatic dual ruling by two federal district judges on Friday about access to widely used abortion pills set up a lower court conflict that legal experts say will almost certainly send the dispute to the Supreme Court. It is really turbocharging and imperative for the Supreme Court to step in and to do so sooner rather than later, says Stephen I. Valdeck, a law professor at the University of Texas at Austin. A federal judge in Texas issued a primary ruling on Friday inviting the Food and Drug Administration 23 years old approval of the abortion pill, what they call mifepristone, or they call mifepristone, if I pronounce right, which could make it more difficult for patients across the country to access medication. Less than an hour later, a federal judge in Washington state issues a ruling in another case that contradicts the Texas judge by ordering the FDA to make no changes to a availability of the drug in the 18 states involved, in that suit. For new, what they call methpristone continues to be available, the Texas judge Matthew J. Kosmarkik, I think that's his name, and appointee President Donald J. Trump, interesting, stays his order for 7 days to allow the FDA time to seek interventions from an appeal court. But the two decisions are in conflict, and the conflict between them is not sustainable, said Samuel A. Boré, a law professor at the University of Notre Dame. The Justice Department has already filed a notice that it is appealing the Texas ruling in the U.S. Court to Appeal for the Fifth Circuit. The department has not yet said whether it will be filing an appeal in Washington state cases. The lawsuit filed against the FDA by a Democrat attorney general challenged the restrictions that the agency imposed on the prescription and dispense of what they call methpristone. The judge in the case, Thomas O. Rice, an appointee of President Barack Obama, did not lift the existing restrictions in his ruling on Friday, but did order the FDA not to do anything to limit current access to the drug called methpristone. And let me do this because I want to see what I'm doing. I'm going to be bouncing between. So 1 second, guys. All right, I'm back. Let's look at this. I think this is the item they're talking about for the abortion pill. Typically, parties in to case will wait for a appeal court ruling before seeking emergency review from the Supreme Court, Mr. Valdek said. But the Justice Department could ask the highest court to examine the Texas case even sooner. Formally, the Supreme Court can step in literally the moment DOJ files an appeal in the Fifth Circuit, he said. As startling as the two rulings are, legal experts said that dueling injunctions were not unheard of and that the courts were able to handle them. Our judicial system, the way it's set up, it expects there will be conflict with courts, and Amanda Foster, a law professor in the University of Virginia, when a direct conflict arises, courts can look for ways to narrow injunctions or for other solutions so that a party is not put into an impossible situation, she said. She cites a conflict in Florida over buffer zones at abortion clinics, areas kept clear from anti-abortion protests to allow the unimpeded access by patients and doctors. In 1993, roughly 30 years ago, an injunction was issued in Florida to protect the Aware Women's Center of Choice. One of dozens similar injunctions issued by states and local judges and abortion clinics operators sought help of how to deal with protests. In the fall of 1993, within weeks of each other, the Florida Supreme Court upheld injunctions, and the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit in Atlanta struck it down. The Supreme Court took the case upholding the core of the Florida State Court injunctions. In 2015, the issue of same-sex marriage led to another collision between courts. After a federal judge in Alabama declares the state prohibitions against same-sex marriage unconstitutional, the Chief Justice of the Albany Supreme Court orders the state probates judge not to issue marriages license to gay couples. And later that year, the Supreme Court ruled by what they call Orbel G. Fella v. Hodge that the Constitution guarantees the right of same-sex marriages. That ruled that back 8 years ago. What's good, man? I see the chat room, bro. In both cases, the Supreme Court steps into the issues of Miss Foster said there was a period of time during which there was a conflict and the world didn't fall apart. And there is built into our system to understand that there will be conflict. In Texas, the case reaches the Supreme Court. It could have implications far beyond access to abortion pills. I think that's called Plan B, but you know. The courts could be asked to consider the effects of the Texas ruling, not only for abortions, but also for the FDA authorities to approve and regulate other drugs. Legal experts said Judge Cass Marquez decision appears to be the first time a court had ordered a drug approved to be revoked over the objections of the FDA. The note that such a ruling could open the doors to legal challenges against our drugs such as vaccines, morning after pills, and other medications at the center of controversial issues. The ruling could also undermine the confidence and pharmaceutical companies place in agencies and influence the company's decision about the drugs to develop a market, experts said. Because these are those broad implications, the federal authorities and commercial interests, some legal experts said that all 6 conservative justices on the Supreme Court might not automatically uphold an order that would undercut FDA authorities. How much more left? That's a long article. Damn. Anyway, I met, you know her name, a lawyer and assistant professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School, said that at least a couple of the conservative justices had judicial track records that suggest they might reject the Texas ruling because of the sort of incredible disturbance of district judge national injunction couples with the extreme vitality at the going to lead to the or to end the pharmaceutical market. The Texas case had drawn additional scrutiny because it was filed in Armillo, a single judge division oversees by Judge, Decay. The judge has written crucial about Roe v. Wade and has long supported conservative cause, including working for a conservative legal organization and served on the board of an organization that seeks to offer pregnant women alternative to abortions, and say going there and getting the babies, from the vacuum cleaner, if you know what I mean. The lead plaintiff, Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine, is consortium of anti-abortion groups that are not based in Amarillo, but the Alliance was incorporated there in August 2022, not long after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Forms and shopping, as it is called, is a common legal strategy used increasingly by both the right and the left to seek out a friendly judge, systematic or sympathetic courts, and press for nationwide stay or injunctions on hot buttons partisan issues. Experts agree that these tactics have increased with political polarization. There is nothing inherently wrong about trying to find a court that you think is more inclined to your ways of thinking about a case. Mr. Bray said, what makes these usual is that if in one case you can win everything, then the stakes go up. And, all right. And concerned about Judge K personal views on abortion playing a role in the case where heightened by the language in his ruling on Friday. Legal experts said this does not read like a judicial opinion. It reads like an activist complaint. Dr. Sapafroth said there were several ways to which Judge K could have come to the same outcomes without this degree of vitriol and these reassessments of every action that the FDA took. He continues, I think that the actual weakness has case because it shows a real lack of credibility in the sense that most of the FDA decisions are very carefully let back by evidence, and he opened himself up to tremendous criticism that he's ignoring about 95% of the science that's out there. And Greer Dooley, an assistant professor at the University of Pittsburgh School of Law, concurs with the assessment. It's pretty clear from the tone that he wasn't attempt in any way to be even-handed in his language, she said. He was shown his card. In his ruling, the judge often used the legal and the anti-abortion movement, what they call meth person, ultimately starves the unborn human until death, Judge K wrote. He added that the FDA mandates a two-step drug regimen, methadone, to kill the unborn human, while the what they call misoprostol to induce cramping and contractions to expel the unborn human from the mother's womb. Ugh. That's the article. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it seems to me that they really push it and fight hard in the state of Texas to still have that right to get rid of their unborn child. Sad, sad, sad. But what can I say? A lot of people use sex as recreational anyway. So what better than for the ladies to explore their bodies, explore many what they call phalluses. Hell, you know the drill, people. And I don't want to be condescending and funny, but I got called out as is. A lot of ladies, let's be honest. Where is this? A lot of ladies want to be on that, and you know what is gonna come? They want to be on this. They want to be on the carousel. Yes. Oh yes, they want to be on that carousel for real. Anyway, if you're watching new to the channel, you know the drill, you know the deal. You hit that red button, hit that top notification bell for uploads, live streams on the Chaos Rain Show. Also, follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7. Join my Rumble. I'm on Rumble as well. And join the Discord servers of the Chaos Rain Show. Those are in the description of this video / live stream. Now, as I do this, hold on. The topic at hand. The topic at hand. The title, The Darwin Effect. Now, as you know, I've been hearing about the one they call Charles Darwin for some time now. I know the man wrote a lot of essays. I have not read any more of his deeper works, but from what has been laid out from Mr. Charles Darwin, it's always about this natural selection and the survival of the fittest and, all that, etc., etc. That's a good question. Don't worry, it's coming. Don't worry, I got you, Mary. That'll be down the line. I'm gonna cover that soon. But before I cover one thing at a time. Matter of fact, I'll do one better. Let me see if I got my link. If you're in the building, you can come up. Now, Charles Darwin, what is he? Matter of fact, wait. Before you come up, bro, wait. Let me do this. 1 second. Let me do this. I'm not ready yet. Wait, I'm not ready yet. Not ready yet. Before we begin this, let me go into this. Why I want to talk about Charles Darwin, especially. And hold on. Let me do this because I gotta. Let me get some space here. I'm trying. I'm just doing some, guys. 1 second. Let me do this. All right, this for myself. I'll cover that. All right. Why I came to this. Yeah. I know. I get you. It's coming. Relax. I got you, bro. I got you. Don't worry, I got you. Why I want to look into this Darwin effect? Because I've noticed when it comes to racism or what they call white supremacy or etc. I always hear about they talk about most people that are useless and they're breeding, overbreeding, or etc. of certain people, right? To the point where to the point that and Amir, if you're still around, I want you to cover this more. I always hear when I hear from non folks and black folks how these people are impoverished. They have maybe no skill, much less they're not very productive. They're not industrious, and but they have time to have sex and to procreate and have kids that they cannot take care of, etc. And I say to that, to those that's always pointing this finger at people, they don't really talk about people in general. They really talk about only specifically black folks, really. And if you think about Charles one Darwin, that was born, if we go through his bio, and let me see if I can find this dude's bio. And I think Wikipedia will say best. This man right here, Charles Darwin, and I'm probably gonna pull him up anyway because I'm talking about the dude. Let me do this. Hold on. This is my assessment of this. And I'm gonna be bouncing back. Let me make myself bigger because y'all don't need to see all that. I'm gonna make myself bigger. As you know, Charles Robert Darwin, born 1809 and transitioned 1882. Now, to me, when I was thinking about this man right here, he's the one that came up with the race theory, all that stuff, natural selection, and it comes to me that a lot of people, particularly non-blacks, and we could say global blacks, they still believe and rock with this narrative by this particular Caucasian man that create this theory almost 150, 140, 100, whatever years, almost close to 2 centuries ago. And saying this, that when they look at the situation and the issues with here in the West or just in general, Americans, they have a very affinity of looking down and hating and wanted, people that is so-called of a certain class to not exist. And because they are growing and they're reproducing at an alarm rate, they said that they are growing more than the people that do got something to offer. Like they might be so-called middle class, they have money, they might have an apartment, a house, or hell, they even maintain a family. So the ones that say got the ish a getter, these ones should be carrying forth the so-called progression of the species. And not only progression of species, but to be reproducing at more of a better rate than people that are working class or let's be honest, people that's poor, struggling. That's mostly that. They're not talking about just all Americans in general. They're normally talking about just black people. Because when I hear these conversations, and you could vouch for this, Mary, if you're still in the building. And like I said, I'm probably gonna drop the link now. Let me drop back the link. Oh no, that's wrong. Sorry. With them, especially, and their thinking and their logic. Is that these people should not exist. And I call bunk. I bunk that. And here's why. Because you must understand everything is subsidized by the government. That includes your infrastructure, people that push policies, even doing natural and what they call current affairs. All that is structured and subsidized by the government and totalitarian. You think the government, America especially, is in the business now going to be telling American people that because you make a certain amount of income that you should not be entitled to recopulate yourself, reproduce? Really? You think they're in the business to sit there, tell and dictate people what the hell to do? I'm very curious on that. Very curious. Jay Shine, don't worry about it. I'll cover that in another time. I dropped the link in the stream if y'all guys want to come up. I want to divulge from other topics right now. And the reason why that is because this is something that is a rant that's came to my mind, and I feel like I have to really expound this because it goes back to a particular stream Mr. Brown was on with a particular gentleman that is another chaos out there. The chaos that needs the order in which the world you live in today. But that's another story. He's out there and with a few people that on his little panel be claiming that people that is so-called dirt poor, etc., are bringing children and struggling to a point where it said some of them should not be here in this earth. They should not even exist. And I look at to that and saying, you don't understand how human nature works. One thing is evident that's not going to stop in my lifetime or the next. But I'll tell you one thing to give you a side note. They are working on it, and they might be successful to get people from stop physically having intercourse with each other. Meaning, and I mean meaning that they are, how can I say this? They want people to engage in fornication and procreation with inanimate objects, i.e., sex bots, not toys or using hand. We are beyond that now. They want to start engage in the VR type of intercourse. You know, the Demolition Man effect. That's what I'm talking about. That's what they want. They are working on it, and they are successfully going to roll these things out. And if they're not rolling it out now, it's eventually going to come within by the end of this year. Now, I did not cover this early this year, back in January, in regards, if y'all would recall the Megan movie, Megan, that special artificial doll that has grown in intelligence with artificial intelligence, AI, and is able to feel and interact and give comfort to children that's over the age of 6, much less 10 years old. And I say this because these dolls are the future of interaction for humans. Now, we have AI bots like ChatGPT and all these other new gizmos that's now being surfaced. Even Mojo, that's able to do less work, meaning less human effort, less men, women doing the physical or regular labor, and having computerized artificial intelligence do most of the work for us. And now we are bestowed upon now seeing the rise of the sexual bots, the machines, the androids now that's here. So Megan came out first week of January, but it's more deeper than that than this movie that probably didn't get much attention. But I'm only bringing this to your attention that the bot itself was a creation 5 years in advance. And I can't put videos on this or if it allows me, but this is something that we've been working on for some time now. Because when we talk about the evolution of species, and let's be honest, who could survive? Nature doesn't have to worry about that because man has created something to define nature to the point they don't have to worry about the natural selection process. You hear about artificial wombs, all this. This is this what it calls spooky science, which is not really spooky science. They do have these things out here. Is they're not gonna present it to you full blown. They're gonna give it to you softly. They're gonna marinate the meat and then they're gonna eventually put it in the grill and eventually prepare it. The point is this: the Darwin effect that people always dreamt up and think that was always a perfect plan in regards to correcting imperfections or correcting the problems that they face in a regular modern 21st century society in regards to violence, hunger, etc. And even the abundance of children, if people have them or not, that to people's mind, which Mary had a conversation with these people, that in their mind, that they feel they should live in a perfect world where if natural selection does not happen, that everything that they see around them is imperfect. It is chaos and there is no order. And if you look at Charles Darwin himself, as you can see the picture in the PDF, that before the time he was around, if we go by the dates, 1809. By the time he was an adult, which is roughly 1829, he probably was in college or maybe schooling. And eventually he goes into these areas to refine, recraft his knowledge and create his own assumptions about nature. But what did he really say about nature? Let's look. And like I said here, his famous work was on theory of evolution. His book, The Origin of Species, was published in 1859. Now, mind you, 1859, that is roughly, if my math is right, 6 years after physical enslavement. So if he published this book in 1859, that would have made Charles Robert Darwin the age he would be. He would have been 50 years old when he published this book. So I would say it took him maybe a good 10 years at best writing this book, coming with theories of his own or essays, and composed it as a physical book. Because dates and timing is always essential to understand where we are at and why people think and operate the way they do. It's no stranger that people feel that useless eaters or evolution needs to take its place to correct the species. They all got this from him. Because during the time, and he probably was a slave master at the time, as you know, the times these guys lived at the time, that they always find that there was going to be a time that they would have no choice but to release the so-called oppressed class, slaves at the time. And they got to come up with new theories and new ways to justify, say, if I want to pose that these people are a threat, or ways to let people know saying that we are superior and you're not, you had to create what we call propaganda. In the form of propaganda, you must create what we call a theory. And yet it is a theory from his own cranium came up with this. And because that, he's concluded that, he's only going to talk about other groups of species, but they will never talk about their own species, which is white people or their what they call white race in general. Now I could be wrong. It could probably mean everybody, but we all know back in that time when Charles Darwin lived, he did not write or compose these essays and books about his own. He normally is talking about the people that he really wants to set forth and set a precedent or set a template in your minds to look at yourself as superior and everybody else inferior. All right. Darwin did not know about genetics. He never read. Wait, hold on. Let's go here because I don't know anybody. Oh wait, I see you. I see you in the studio, Mary. I'm bringing up in a second. I don't know if you want to use Goku, bro. All right. Hold on. Darwin did not know about genetics. He never read the works of George Mildo. Nevertheless, Darwin's explanations of evolution was fundamentally correct in context of what they call Lamarck. Darwin's ideals was that the what they call drafting neck become the giraffe's necks become longer because those with longer necks survive better. These survivors passed their genes on, and in time, the whole species got longer necks. And Darwin spent almost 5 years on boards of Royal Navy exploring ships and the HMS Bugle. He was the guest, what they call naturalist, which meant that he was responsible for making collections of notes about the animals, the plants, geologically, and the countries they visit. The ship's crew made charts of all coastal areas or which could be used by the Navy whenever it went in the world. At the time, Britain had by far the largest navy in the world and the empire which was global. And you know, as you go further, it goes more deeper into this, which I'm not going to read more because I'm not going to focus too much on this. Actually, this is short. Evolution by HMS Bugle, later back home in London, etc. Yeah, I'm not going for this. Y'all could look at it itself. Y'all could probably look at his book. Wait, hold on. Let me do this. I want to do it. I'll bring it up. All right, let me do this. Hold on. If I can fix this. All right, can you hear me? Oh.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up? Hey, try refrain from the other thing you said in the. I follow you. I know what you're talking about. We'll leave that alone for now. That'll be for another time. I know what you're talking about. That other stuff. You know. But
You gotta jump on the story while it's hot though,
yeah. But no, I got you. I gotta see some things first before I jump in it because there's some things I gotta watch before I talk about. But Amiri, the importance of this stream is you remember that conversation you had with Chaotic?
Yeah.
Yeah, that particular brother, another chaos man. This was really that came to mind because a lot of people were thinking about, you know, the poor, who deserve what, who should not breed. It leads me back down to this rabbit hole, and that it brings me thinking about this particular person. You get me? So, in regards to your knowledge or what you have experienced, what's your general take? You know,
Social Darwinism, that shit didn't come from Darwin. Social Darwinism didn't come from Charles Darwin. Social Darwinism came from a white supremacist, man. What's the guy? I always get his name. I think it's Madison Grant. That guy who came up with this whole idea of social Darwinism. He's the one who coined the term survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest is not a Darwinian term. It's a capitalist term. You know what I'm saying? Like people think that was Charles Darwin, but it wasn't Charles Darwin. He took Darwinian concepts and applied it to society. And of course, it was through the lens of white supremacy, and it was through the lens of class supremacy, of a capitalist framework. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So from his vantage point, the people who had the most money was the most fit to survive. These were the people who should be able to reproduce and shit like that. That's why I was pushing back against what they were saying on that panel. See, This is why I tell you that the illusion of inclusion isn't just with race, it's with class too. So you have people like Chaotic Truth and others like that you heard on that panel. They'll be talking like as if they're Madison goddamn Grant or something, but you're not. You're
Mm-hmm.
you're the only reason why you're middle class is because of the government. If the government didn't create the structure for you to be middle class, you would be a have-not. See, like initially there were only two. You only had two classes. You had the haves and the have-nots. Man, you didn't have a middle class. The middle class is nothing but a buffer group. It's just like it's the same thing they would do with race. How they would create buffer groups. That's all the
Yep.
middle class is a buffer group. You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just gives you the illusion of inclusion. But really, if you start following the line of reasoning and logic that they was trying to put down, then it means that they shouldn't reproduce either. Because really, your government subsidized your middle class
Mm.
lifestyle you're talking about. It's because of the government that you enjoy this standard of living. Hell, you talk. That's what I was trying to explain to them. Like even like when they was talking about, they was really trying to suggest that people in Flint, Michigan, shouldn't be allowed to reproduce because the politicians and the bureaucrats in the government failed to do what they were supposed to do. So why should those people be penalized? But see, that's all a part of the eugenic. That's all a part of eugenics, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You know, where you get rid of the undesirables, people of color, people with disabilities, people who you would consider to be slow or dull or who would be on the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Have Asperger's syndrome and people who are autistic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I kept telling them that what y'all saying is that it's dangerous. It's a dangerous line of reasoning, man, to believe that, to say that. Because the reason why you say that, because you think you're included. You think you're included with the real aristocracy that sits atop the social hierarchy in this country, but you're not. You know what I'm saying? They have those same feelings about you.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're a wasteless eater. You
Mhm.
see, so this is what people like I told you, as you can see, it's dumb niggas ain't just black people. You got dumb niggas who are white. You got dumb white niggas. You know what I'm saying? They dumb. They don't understand it. And they think they do, man. So I'm saying, so they think they're included. The illusion of inclusion. But social Darwinism, that stuff is a myth, man. That's why I was pushing back against BGS when he was talking about ghetto pathology. It's not that I'm saying that I don't understand that these problems that these behaviors that people exhibit in the ghetto are a problem. What I'm challenging is this idea that it's ghetto pathology. What I'm saying is that the real pathology is the entire system and structure that's creating the environment that's makes the behavior conducive for it. You see what I'm saying? So how am I going to call the person who's alcoholic pathological, but not call the person who's supplying the alcohol just to make money? That's not pathological. If you understand anything about economics, about capitalism, then you understand that supply creates market. The moment you create a supply of something, you're going to create a demand for it. The nature of the universe is dualistic. You can't have one without the other. So if you create supply, you're going to automatically create market. You see what I'm saying? So once if you supply it, people are going to consume it. That's the way it works. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
you'll call the people consuming it pathological, but you won't call these corporations and these capitalists, these people who are, who look to exploit. They look to create vices that are exploitable. So, like, you look at the tobacco industry, the cigarette industry in this country. They knew that. You think they didn't know that nicotine was addictive? They knew what the harmful consequences of how harmful nicotine was. But what they would do is they would market their cigarettes to children. You go look that up. Like, they would market their cigarettes to children once upon a time in this country because why? They're going to get addicted. Now you have a lifelong customer. But they're going to get addicted and it's going to create cancer. For a long time, tobacco companies and cigarettes would really try and deny that cigarettes cause cancer. But we'll call the people in the ghetto pathological, but we won't call corporations and heads of industry who operate that way, we won't call them pathological. That's just good business. That's why I was rejecting what BJS was saying. You know what I'm saying? So, that whole social Darwinism thing, that's a myth, man. You look at somebody like Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is a crackhead, but it's just ghetto pathology. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you'll never call him they'll never call what he's doing pathological. They'll make all kind of excuses for what he's doing. But see, this is the way that power, privilege, status, and this is the way this shit works. And that's why I always reference animal form. This is animal form. You know what I'm saying? All animals are created equal. However, pigs are more equal than others. Some animals are more equal than others. That's the way this shit really goes, man. You know what I'm saying? But those people don't understand it. They're just talking. That like just ignorant, like really trying to blame, like, saying people shouldn't have kids. Trying to say that parenthood is a privilege and not a right. See, the reason why they want to say it's a privilege and not a right is because if it's a privilege, then it's something that can be taken away. But who the fuck are you to take somebody's right to reproduce away? Who are you?
Yeah.
So I'm saying that, but then if you go back and listen to the conversation, let's talking about what was going on in Flint, Michigan, you'll hear this dummy talking about big government. It don't get no bigger than that. There is no greater example of government overreach than the government telling people when, where, how, and why they should reproduce. That's an overreach of government. That's big government. But they believe in that because it supports white supremacy. But you don't believe in the government coming in and fixing those goddamn pipes in Flint, Michigan, because you know it's gonna help those black people there. As if that's their fucking fault.
Yep, you're right.
Can't stand their ass, man. Yeah. They're evil as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I lose I lose a lot of respect personally because how can I say it? That even the conversation alone is weird in essence because they feel that if people like useless or people that cannot take care of the child, whatever the case may be, that these ones that's caused the most havoc, that by removing this, you're going to have a much more safe haven comfortability. And personally, Amiri, humans, for our existence, we're not designed to be comfortable. You get me?
Yeah.
If you look at how human beings evolve over the time, it's always in two things: survival, war, and always find ways to better or improve or move forward the species on the average, right? So where does it say that if people are robbing, shooting, clean, which is bad, don't get me wrong, that this is a derivative to say if I clean this up, get rid of that, that we don't have to worry about that anymore. But you hear their language and their conversation that they want to live in a utopia of perfection. Including
that's because they look at suffering as a bad thing.
Yeah.
They're so stupid. Like, this is what I'm telling you about how entitled they are as Americans. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't realize that luxury is a luxury. We think that luxury is supposed to be standard because of our entitlement as Americans. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing wrong with suffering. Suffering builds character.
Yes, correct. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So even the way he was character, but he's doing that because you got to understand that really what they're saying is that black people should die off. Black people shouldn't reproduce. That's really what they were saying and all that. You know what I'm saying?
But they can't really be blunt honest with that. They can't just say that directly. You get me? And that's why I lose a lot of respect. That's it. To say you just want Negroes to go. Just keep it real. That's your intention. That's what you.
Yeah, they trying to pretend like we're a drag on the country. That's what they trying to pretend.
Yeah,
really. We're a drag on the country. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But we know that's bullshit, and that's total bullshit.
Hello, Cassandra. How you doing?
Like, even when they was talking about talking about crime data and all that old bullshit, man, shut the hell up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's
why I was giving their ass that word. Like, even when they're talking about the thanks to Obsidian, my good friend Obsidian, not Obsidian, Cerulean, he the one put me onto that statistic that 50% of homicides go unsolved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
But
I
then
didn't know
so
that.
how do we take at face value that the perpetrator was black? We don't know that. How you know if 50% of these murders are going unsolved? You know what I'm saying? So we're dealing with 50% ambiguity here. We don't know who was committing the murder. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're telling you, they
Yeah.
something else, man. They something else. Them white folks, man. But we know what it is with the conservative. Like conservatism, neoconservatism is nothing but white supremacy anyway. That's all it really is. You know what I mean? So you know, it was fun. Going back and forth with their ass and giving their ass their work.
Mhm.
Like I told that dude, because when I went up there, they was doing all the talking about crime. Now to support your worldview, you're gonna sit here and try and justify murder and crime now. You know what I'm saying? Stop being a hypocrite. I thought you was just when you just saying acting like murder and crime and violence was so bad. Now you're trying to use it to support your worldview because really what you want to say is that we deserve to die off with your dumb ass. Like I don't know, that's what you're really saying. You know?
Well, my thing is this. I always look at other groups of people.
Mm.
I don't want to say. I gotta keep it. They're cowards. They're pussies. You get me?
Right.
We see the problem with a lot of them. They're so comfortable. Don't want to say what really on their mind. When they cross other groups of people, racial groups of people,
Mm-hmm.
is because they don't want to feel or be the one that one bad guy. You know. So say I
Yeah.
can't tell you what my real intentions are when I say rhetoric, my nonsense to you. I'm just being honest. Say the draw and drain of this. And mind you, black people, especially niggas, men, especially and women, are very gullible to really believe this, and they agree and say, "Hold on." So you talking about if they say you're black? I mean, they talk about you too. You get me? Why are you exempt to the rule? Are you
Because they don't under they think it's because they're looking at it from a class perspective. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm telling you, the illusion of inclusion. See, they think they're included in the class of people who should be allowed to reproduce. They don't realize that, that really they're talking about them too, because they know that the government subsidizes your dumb ass. And then it's even like with when it's talking about population and birth rates, they like people that they don't even be understanding population, the significance of population, how significant population is to the economic vitality and stability of any nation. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of national debt and stuff like that. If you have an aging population and that the population isn't replenishing itself, you like that's creating a problem because of your debt. Because you need the bodies, you need the population that's going to be able to produce and consume enough to pay off the debt. That's going to go to that nation's GDP. But if you have an aging population, an older population, then they can project what they can project, like within a certain level of certainty, what's going to be the nation's production and consumption in the next few decades or whatever. See what I'm saying? So that's why population is an economic term.
mm-hmm,
So I'm saying, so the governments need population.
mm-hmm.
They need
They
population.
need the bodies, and you
Yeah,
basically
they need the bodies. You
and you
need
basically
people that's gonna produce and consume.
yeah
You know what I'm saying?
even
If you don't have that, if you don't have people that's producing and consuming, you have no economy. They stupid. So they dumb. Like even with how they be talking about the national debt and stuff like that. America spends most of its money on its military spending, its military budget, man. That's why they had to expand and stuff like rights of enfranchisement and stuff like that to women and minorities and stuff like that, because you didn't have enough white men in the society to be able to support that debt load. You know what I'm saying? Just wasn't enough white men. So you gotta make it all inclusive, because now everybody has a piece of this national debt. You know what I'm saying? So Like they simple minded. Like I told you, white niggas. Those was white niggas I was talking to. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
it, it's,
But
it's it's like a broken record if you think about it at the end of the day with these Negroes, bro. That what you've been saying this for years now is only resonate to a few. It's not gonna resonate to a lot. I mean, a good
nah.
verbal lashing.
Yeah, AK, I saw. Hold on, I gotta do something back and hold on.
All right, mute yourself. Just mute yourself. Yeah, man, verbal tongue lashing. Some of these people need at the end of the day. And think about this, people. I have no problem with people if they decide what they do with their own reproductive organs and stuff. And the funny thing about it, because I read early in this broadcast when y'all go back to listen to this about they're trying to go for another way with Texas in regards to forms of abortion. They still want to be able to have the capability to still have that option in Texas, and they're gonna go through other states to make it possible. Because most states nowadays they still give people that window open to still, I guess, get rid of a baby. But Texas is very strict in regards to that they won't allow, or they're going to do two things: either lock you up, or they're going to take away the doctor's license, or whoever's going to do the procedure. So now they had to go for the Supreme Court to get around that, which they might succeed. I'm not saying they won't succeed, but they might succeed, because when you had to go another avenue to get what you want, so you could still get certain things approved in one state, I mean, that's telling how much the lengths and depths you go to have the right, ladies, to get rid of a baby. I have no, gripes on the whole situation. I mean, I think it's stupid if you had to sit there have reckless sex. You think no child's gonna come to it. I think you're delusional. But like I said, a lot of people they want to have the option to sit there, throw away a baby. I mean, it is what it is. But I always advocate and preach, always be more cautious. You should have sex with respectfully. You should know who you're screwing if you're gonna go that route. I mean, because it is a procreation act, and a lot of people are not really taking the seriousness of the implications of having many options to be doing that, especially if you're a woman, you're doing that to your own body. I mean, especially, I hear stories of a lot of women that gone through many procedures to get rid of the baby. I mean, I heard a few stories. Some of them I had to shake my head. I couldn't really believe, but women do tell me this. But, like I said, if you want it, sweetie, if you want to sit there, just be on that wonderful, where's my footage? Who I'm not getting. If you want to be on that carousel, be my guest. But that carousel always leads to some problems. And usually you get a nice little baby develop with that, riding the cock carousel. But yeah. Let me see what's else in it. All right, I'm gonna acknowledge y'all in the chat room right now, guys. Oh, as y'all know, I got a new what they call a super chat soundbite for those that will contribute to the to the Chaos Reign show. Y'all want to hear it? Here you go. Let y'all hear it.
Hand out of my pocket! Get out of my pocket, nigga!
Hold on. Let me see if I can do that again. Yeah, that's the new soundbite, guys. So anytime y'all donate to the Chaos Reign show, that's what you'll hear. I do the video, mind you. So let me check who's in the chat room. Anybody? All right. Yeah, just watching. Hold on. What's this?
Yeah, Cass.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. If you didn't catch it, I created a new donation clip video. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what?
I create a what they call a clip video for anybody that contributes to the channel, the Chaos Ring Show. You know, I use that old notion of get your hands out my pocket. The video.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Yeah, anybody that contributes something, you know, you'll know once I play that video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give it some niceness. But anyway, anything else, Amir?
I mean, no, cause I'm about to get back to work.
All right.
I took a little break. I just got to my next, my next stop.
Okay. Good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, safe travels, safe journey, you know, and we'll probably
Okay.
soon. All right.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Respect. All right, guys. Let me see what else. I'm trying to think of something. Hold on. Also, yeah, that's the donation tab. I think this will be a short one. What's this? Moisture. All right. Yeah, I see something on my phone. I don't know why it's saying that. Anyhow, I was going to turn on my phone. But like always, this was a pretty reasonable stream. Goddamn. It's a lot of content being put out here, right, guys? And so much short time to cover everything. If I can't cover all, you know the deal. So you know where to find me. So like always, if you are new to the Chaos Rain Show, welcome. As you know, I am only a quarter away from 1K. So you know the deal, you know the drill. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Let me hit that 1K mark, you know. And after that, see where we move from there. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. Oh wait. Matter of fact, let me do this better. I said I was going to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, every minute I do this and I always forget. My apologies. All this should be in the description. But I found it. Hold on, guys. Okay, so as you refresh, you'll see in the description of the stream of all the links. I put it here now. Those are links to follow me. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Eric Rain, on Facebook. Also, my Rumble is CRain23. That's my Rumble account. So follow me on Rumble. I'm probably gonna put the link there. I'm gonna put that in the chat room for y'all to get access. Please follow me on Rumble. I'm trying to grow Rumble. I still need a lot of followers on Rumble so I can start going a little bit more raw over there. So don't be scared. Let's go on Rumble as well. I probably will bounce from different platforms as well. Also, follow me on join my Discord service as well. That right there is in the about section of my channel, the Discord. So please follow me on Discord, join me on Discord. And that is pretty much it. Those are all the links. So please, guys, make sure your notifications set high. The next live stream. Wait, hold on. I see somebody. Hello, Nicole Marie. How you doing? I'm not sure if you're new, sis. Welcome. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. You're on high alerts because I'm probably gonna go into some effery on some things I've noticed. I didn't cover it here because I cover this first for anything else. And then we're going to get back to the nonsense, like always. Y'all know y'all love the chaos. The chaos. Y'all come here for the chaos. But anyway, thank you for watching. Until next time, let it chaos reign.